Hello and welcome to another inspiring interview with a conscious creative change maker. I'm Claire Westwood, Chief Creative Maverick, and today I have the beautiful Evelyne with me. She's dialed in from France, and it's lovely to have people from all over the world on these interviews, and I feel really privileged to know people who live in different places to me. And so Evelyne and I have known each other for a few years now through our soul art mentor, through Laura Hollick, and we really resonated over different things and got onto video and spoke to each other. So we've never met in person, but we've had numerous quite deep and meaningful conversations over the last few years. So it's beautiful to be able to talk to Evelyne in public and share some of her journey and the wisdom and her orgasmic business and life theories with everybody. So hi, Evelyne, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Claire, for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
You're welcome.
French, as you will notice.
Yeah, beautiful French accent.
Yeah, and I will speak English perfectly, imperfectly.
So perfectly, imperfectly. That's what we like. Absolutely brilliant. Okay.
It's all about the vibration first, because our first language is energy.
Yes, our first language is energy. Absolutely right. So, why don't we start sort of at the beginning, a bit about your childhood, like whether you were creative as a child, were you conscious as a child, did you channel as a child, were you aware of speaking to entities or angels or anything like that? And then how maybe you got caught up, like lots of us do in adulthood, in ordinary world.
So I had a quite unique childhood because I was stuttering for 25 years.
Okay.
So this really was a chance, I will say, to just tune in my inner world, because it was complicated to relate and to connect with others, except with my animals.
Yeah.
and so I start really developing quite of a big imagination, going in a world, being connecting with the nature. I loved being in silence, just being present, observing the nature, hearing the birds. And I was in this full awareness when I was a child. And I also remember I was also playing a lot with painting. At that time, I had this game. It's called Spirograph. I don't know if you.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, I was just doing like sacred geometry, and it was like a trance. I remember, because I could really feel that I can just get lost in the act of creation when I was child. So it's all begin like that. And I
Yeah, so I
was
don't know if that, it's probably still around, but yeah, spirograph was big when I was a child as well, just for those who are listening or watching who've never heard of it. And it was sort of, you had plastic discs, like circles that had teeth inside, almost like a cog. And then inside you would put a different circle and you could make different shapes, repetitive shapes by putting your pen in different things and going around. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was so fun. It was so fun because it was like it was just I was so amazed how from this movement you can just create something so beautiful with this. Sometimes it was stars, flowers, and yeah, I was so amazed about the creation process, the color, and
Yeah.
I wasn't very I had kind of raw expression, and I was judged by my sister and all the people around me, because it wasn't really perfect, it wasn't really beautiful, and it was just raw, like the aliveness. And I like it, and I like it when it was just raw, and it was just real, and not the purest expression or something very perfect,
Mm,
perfectly aligned, and that it was just something that needed to come through me,
mm,
and finally, so now it's the same thing. So what happened for me at that time is that I got lost in the normative life, as
yeah,
I love to call, and I really love business. At that time, I follow business school, so in Marseille and in south of France. And oh my God, I really love that. It was so concrete. It was really something that excited me. Something happening in my structure and my energy. I say, oh, I just felt all the possibilities in the even in the business school. I really
mm,
don't know why, how, but it was all about um, what money also can create as
mm,
possibility to our life. I feel I really I was already connecting to a new money frequency that wasn't really what 99% relate with money, and it was something very so pure for me. I say, oh my God, yes, that's amazing. I could be the creator of my life, even if I didn't have those words on
mm,
that time. And it was really yeah, so powerful. I can sense the
yeah,
power on it, but not the wrong power, the wounded power, really the true power on our feminine, really the feminine power about, oh my God, I can
yeah,
create everything with that. Yeah.
yeah. So you studied business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it sounds like, what you got tuned into were like the possibilities, but also even then you were tuned into kind of the energetic possibilities of it.
Yeah,
Like
and
business is this amazing vehicle or, way to bring things out in the world and create things and create income.
exactly. And at that time, so I get my diploma. I went to Paris, living in Paris for 15 years.
Yep.
And on my first job, I got this guy, and he wasn't happy with the amount of my salary, and he just wanted to lower it. And I say, no, no, if you want me, you will need to pay that
Yeah.
because I am not saying yes for that. And it was great because money really teach me to hold my standards
Yes. Yeah.
and to honor that and to speak that truth, because I knew that money could really help me to live a better lifestyle. Because
Mm,
at that time, when I was just an employee, the only way to improve a lifestyle was from money and from the job I was doing. So every
yeah.
time I felt in my life some contraction, I don't like anymore the place I am living. I want a bigger flat. I want to travel more. I want to, I don't know, buy me some new clothes and all that stuff. I just come to money. I say, oh, but I cannot really live exactly what really turned me on because it's related to money. And
Yeah.
and so I was just saying, but I don't like my job anymore. And I
Mm,
had that every 3 years. I was changing my job every 3 years. And and yes, it was it was money at that time was something to catapult me to a new layer, a next version of me, and
Yes.
a next expression and a
Yeah.
next creation.
Yeah.
It was how I can go to my next orgasmic creation and create a new reality. I haven't this awareness at that time. It was
Mm.
with the journey and everything, but yeah, showing just that it's make really sense. Is really all about that.
Yeah, so now looking back, and this is why like looking back and having an overview of our life, or doing reviews and doing some self-inquiry is really interesting, because it's like at that point you didn't have that awareness, but it sounds like almost like you could sense the next level you wanted to be at, and then it's like, well, if I need to be at that next level, it's money that's a big part of that, because that's that, and almost like the language we would probably use now is like that's the next level of our expansion, but that's not language that you would have used at the time. But it's almost like, I know what I want to be and experience next, so therefore money is a tool by which that can be a reality for you.
Yeah, and what's happened for me is that how can I say that? I love change. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love change.
Yeah.
And for me, when I was seeing my family having the same job for 40 years in the
Yeah.
same company,
Yeah.
having the same friends for a lifetime, and it was just like it was days for me, you know.
Yeah, I hear you
Um,
totally. And I think, if anybody who's listening to this or watching it is just going, oh my God, I keep changing and people around me are judging me and saying I should be sticking to something, like we're all wired differently, and some of us are wired for change and variety and novelty and expansion. And I went to an art exhibition with my friend the other week, and it was beautiful silk paintings, all about philosophy and energy and art, and it was beautiful. But there was one circle where there's like this quirky writing, and it says, I rebirth myself over and over. And my friend looked at it and just went, Claire, that's you. And I went, yeah, I know, reinvention and rebirth, because we do, it's important. This is kind of what these interviews are about. It's like life is about evolving. And I think, what used to happen is people evolve through their families, perhaps. You have children, so you become a parent, and it's like your family unit is what changes and what changes you. But it's almost like there's so many choices now about and we're exposed to so many different influences as well. It's sort of seeing what's possible, which I think is really important as well. But yeah, and that inner feeling that I'm ready for change. Like I don't even know what the change is necessarily, but I know that I've done everything I need to do where I'm at, and kind of honoring that kind of inner pull to do something new or something different, or just to stretch ourselves in different ways. Or it could be to flip things on their head and do things totally differently.
yeah, and finally, I realized that all my life has been very strongly influenced by change,
Yeah.
and this radical change also that creates a new being, a new
Mm.
version of ourselves, a new identity, and from this new identity, new desire can
Yeah.
we,
So how did that come about then, with the kind of going from working in business and having jobs and sort of going on that kind of evolution to kind of being an intuitive, orgasmic artist and coach and leader? Like how does something so seemingly different happen? Like what's the journey that you went on?
I haven't planned for it. I was the project manager in change, so
Yeah.
I was working for 15 years in the information systems, and
So you were
change was
facilitating change
yeah,
basically.
yeah, in corporate job. So
Yeah.
it was just amazing, and finally I had this. this new job opportunity, very well paid. It was a kind of one uh, more than six digit per year plus a car, and so it was a very big opportunity, and
Yeah.
we don't know what happened on that, but from one day, my boss called me, and he just say, we just need to say goodbye to you.
Okay. So
So
the change happened to you rather than you choosing it initially.
it was something radical. So from the I was another city in France. I got a call from my boss. You need to come for a last minute meeting. Okay, so I travel all the country, go on this on this meeting to that, and it was a big shock for me because I wasn't prepared for it,
Yeah.
and the week before I had a terrible heart breakup, and the week after I had several end of friendship. So it was 3 weeks very that creates some lots of space,
Yeah. So
of
your
time
job
with
and your
myself.
relationship and some friendships all fell apart
Yeah,
in a couple of
everything
weeks.
in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I really lost everything, and it was the pure yeah, it was simply the space, the void, and it was terrifying because at that time
Yeah.
I was a very social girl,
Yeah.
loving to hang out, to go dancing salsa and all that stuff,
Yeah.
with with no job, with no friend, with no lover. Who I am?
Yeah. 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 Yes, that's so great because um we can hook our identity to these external things, and that's such a like important piece. Is I remember my very first mentor, and I said, I've got this vision for creating a business, and but it means letting go of this. And I said, but I don't know who I'll be without the thing. For me it was nursing. That was my proper career, as I call it. And he was going, well, I guess you let go and find out. Like, he wasn't saying, here's what's going to happen. Like, he didn't give me like reassurance, as in, we can work out who you are, and da, da, da. Like, there was none of that. It was like, you let go and you find out. And I was like, like, really? So that's a really precious part. And I think everybody's been through this, where a relationship has broken up, or we've been made redundant, or suddenly we realize we can't do it anymore, and then we step into this space and we go, oh my god, who am I now, like, without this stuff? And that's really the journey of self-inquiry and tuning into who we are, and getting back to kind of what we love and what we enjoy. And because we could have been, really tied up with doing a lot of stuff that didn't really work for us, or didn't really fit, or didn't really feel right, or at one point we loved it and then we've just grown out of it now, or evolved past it, kind of thing. So yeah. So what happened in that void space for you?
So finally, when I was just saying about who I am, it was just an allowance to myself to be exactly who I want to be. And
Yeah.
what happened is that I had a mystic experience one night without meditating, because it wasn't really, I wasn't on that path at the time.
Yeah.
It without taking drugs or any strange things, because
Yeah.
it wasn't my things too. And I was just going to my bed. I just sleep, and I was in that state between into two states.
Mm.
You're not awake, you're not sleeping, and I was just seeing myself in the infinite, in the quantum fields. It was I was in the blackness, And then I was just seeing just in front of me spew of energies with colors that wasn't existing in our reality. I even cannot name the color, so I create the name. I call it, and I'm sure you are going to love it. I call it hors lumière in French. So it was a gold light.
Yeah. So not too different to luminary.
Right, it
Yeah.
was a kind of that. It was so bright, so shiny, and it was so, oh my God, that's so, I don't know, this feeling when you're just in front of a mystic experience, you have no word to describe it, but from the inside you say, oh, wow, it's like it's the same feeling as an orgasm.
Yeah.
You cannot put some words on it. You just have this.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. So the word that's coming through, that transcendent experience where we know that we're still human, but actually we don't really feel human anymore because our senses or our vision or something is kind of expanded to such a level. And it sounds very much like I love these sort of spiritual podcasts, and I'm always watching things, people who have near-death experiences and that kind of thing. And it's very similar, they go to this kind of otherworldly higher frequency space, and it's like, what is this? But also it's not, as in, I mean, it sounds like it's a beautiful experience. So even though it's unusual, it's not like something that's frightening. It's sort of like, whoa, this has never happened before, and I don't really know what this is, but it feels, expansive rather than frightening. It's almost like something that possibly our cells knew or understood before we'd even seen it, and then when we see it, we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you are just experiencing things, those are unknown, but from the inside it's something familiar. It
Yeah,
feels home. So
totally.
it was
Totally.
this kind of experience. And it was so powerful, and it was no doubts, no fears, no. It was just this pure connection to this highest frequency, and say, oh my God, that's me. So
Yeah.
I feel home because I am coming from that, even if at that time I couldn't express it like that, but it was like, oh my God, I'm connecting to something that is me, but but it's not on the same, it's not the material me, it's the energetic self that is unlimited, because it was all about that. It was about connecting to this unlimited self. The orgasmic self, for me, it's this unlimited self. We you are the pure creator. You are the great creator, and you feel that power that is within you, that you can create everything, you can be everything, and
Yeah.
you just need to choose it.
Yeah.
And it was all about that. So at that time I wasn't on the same level of consciousness than I am today, and but I felt something shift in my energy. And on the morning when I woke up, I say, "Oh my God, what was that?"
Yeah.
And I felt in my stomach like I had shift timeline, and I shift a real identity shift. And following Joe Dispenza work for 3 years now, he was really explaining exactly what I lived with this experience. So
Yeah.
that when sometimes you have a kind of you experience like a quantum leap, you feel it in your body, in your cells. You
Yeah.
you are just buzzing, you can feel this aliveness, and you can feel that you are not anymore the same person. You cannot name it. You say
Mm.
feeling, feeling that, oh my God, I am not the same as maybe a minute ago. And what happened on
Yeah,
that
it's
moment?
it's almost like you can't go back to not knowing that. So even though you can't explain it, like you're saying, it's something you felt, and it's like, oh, this is a deep part of me really felt at home and really understood this. But if I try and explain it to people, it's almost impossible. But then you can't pretend you were the person who that you were before you'd seen it or experienced it or whatever that was. Yeah. So yeah, I love a mystical experience. They're so fun.
Yeah, and finally, what happened for me, because I had this identity shift and that without asking for it, without I want a mystical experience.
Yeah.
No, it was just I don't know, because I had these three loss. I was lost my life.
Yeah.
It was on that time, and I was just ready to receive.
Yeah,
So
and there was
I
space for it to come in.
absolutely
Yeah,
it was all about that, and I was just ready for that, and maybe it was something planned from the beginning.
yeah,
uh, and what happened on the morning, I felt my feet, the energy in my body from my feet to all my being. And as I have a lot of times, because I don't do the job anymore, neither a friend or a couple, I say, "Oh, it's about punching that." This is the first thing I had in my mind, and that was so funny because um, I haven't planned for years. Last time was I was a teenager, and
mm,
I wasn't very talented on the painting things.
yeah,
And but I had this I had the guidance, channeling things, personal channeling things, a year ago, because I was questioning why I am here. Is it really my job to do what I am doing? Maybe I need to do something else.
yeah,
I just had this maybe feeling to maybe I need to do something with my hands, because I could felt the energy moving through my hands at that time. And
mm,
this woman told me something about, but you can do anything. It was like an intuitive astrology, and she tell me that you can channel, you can do healing, and you can even bend. Was so disruptive for me at that time. It's like, and me? No.
mm,
And that's at this morning, I had this obsession about painting, and maybe 2 days after, I just uh, went to the art shop and bought some painting materials, and I started to paint. And my first painting was this spiral of energy with gold light,
mm.
and from then my artist journey began like that. So
Yeah.
it's
I think that's really interesting. That's a crucial part because quite often we get these, whatever we call them, downloads or ideas or messages that seem to come not from us, and then us or our brain just goes, "You want me to do what?" It's sort of what, but I haven't done that for years, or I've never done that before, or that makes no sense to me, or how do I tell people this is what I'm doing? There's all of this stuff that kind of follows it. But then, you honored that guidance that said, put this energy through paint. And the bit of you that went, really? That sounds a bit weird. I haven't done that for a long time. Is like, then you go to an art shop and then you follow the guidance. So fantastic. And how did it feel when you started to kind of paint? Because it sounds like, you know, you're painting more with energy than, you know, you're not so it's interesting when people ask me if I'm an artist, and I'm like, well, I make art, because I think if I call myself an artist, they're expecting a particular type of like archetypal artist. And so, yeah, explaining intuitive, intentional, energetic art is kind of different to, you know, drawing a landscape, or, you know, being a kind of selling my art, or what have you. So yeah, interesting. So what was that first experience of kind of painting with energy or intuition, or like how would you again, words probably won't work very well, but how would you describe like that experience of when you started?
So at that time, it wasn't really conscious that I am painting with intention and energy. It
Yeah,
was just okay. I just want to paint this vision to bring that into our reality. It was
yeah,
only that. And as I was looking for a job, and it was complicated with lots of suppressed emotion that was here. And I just started to paint, and it was like meditation. Even if
mm,
I haven't meditated, but it was I had this feeling about having I am painting, I am doing that, and I have those thoughts that are coming from me. But,
mm,
I am not attached to them. Pure, it was pure presence through
mm,
act of creation.
mm.
And what really was important for me, it wasn't really the beauty of my art, because it wasn't beauty at all. But I felt something in the act of creation. I
Yeah,
felt pleasure, and
okay,
that
yeah,
was touch just saying that. But I felt pleasure, and I just realized when I was on after that that I haven't felt pleasure for weeks. And it was just amazing, because it was the first time I was doing something totally different, that where I kind of feel pleasure. And for me, it was just so amazing. I feel what I felt in my body was so amazing, was so orgasmic, even if it wasn't really the big orgasm, it was just pleasure.
yeah,
It was just a feel good play vibe, and I
yeah,
just wanted that more, because when you are experiencing something and you have pleasure, you just want more of this experience, more of this pleasure, to just feel where this can lead you.
yeah.
And
And
it was
that's a
just
really
the
important point,
curiosity.
is sort of being in the process. I know we've had conversations about this before over the years, as like, you know, the act of creation is different to making a piece of art that you might want to put on the wall. And it's sort of like the creative process can be incredibly frustrating and difficult, and because all our inner stuff comes up while we're creating. But you know, that early experience of you're doing it just for pleasure, like there's no real outcome, there's no, you know, you're not doing it to get paid, you're not doing it because your boss has told you, you're not doing it for any of these external things. It's like, I am loving this process of me and the paint and whatever surface I'm on. And you know, allowing ourselves to do things for pleasure. And I've been working with a coach last year, and she's very much like pleasure is the foundation of everything, because you know, that's when our nervous system is calm, that's when we're open to different ideas. And you know, it gets us out of this programming that we're in, that everything has to have a purpose, everything has to be for something, you know, it's the outcome and the image that matters. And it's sort of like, can we not just do things for the joy of doing them? Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, and it was amazing to because it was my space, um, it's freedom to be, you know,
Yeah,
because at that time, um, you can imagine, yeah, the, the business corporate job. I am also from a very strict family with an education very on yeah, you need to be strong, and you're a woman. You do not have a voice. You need to obey.
Yeah.
And for me, and freedom for me was a pure rebellion, you know. And I found through art this freedom. It's my space.
Mm,
Nobody can tell it everything
mm,
on me. It's just the yeah, a playful ground, a place to be
mm.
without any judgments, without any projection, without people to say, "Oh, you should do that, you should express that, you should be that." Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So
It was just
making your own
beautiful.
decisions and really following what you want to do. And I think there's a whole lot of things around, well, anything, but making art specifically, or just being playful with creativity. So we can take the art word out and we're just being playful and creative, where people are like, but what will people think? Or what if it's not any good? And it's like, you don't have to share anyone. You don't have to tell anyone you're doing it. You don't have to show it to anybody. I'm interviewing somebody next week who does a lot of art journaling, and it's just kind of, yeah, it's a private space. So you get the pleasure and you get the self connection, and you get to process some of your emotions or celebrate your emotions or whatever it is, channel things. And it's like nobody else needs to know you're doing it, or nobody else needs to look at it ever. So it can be a really, a kind of intimacy with yourself, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
It
certainly
was
when you're answering those questions, when you've lost things in your life and you're like, who am I now? That's probably part of the exploration, and the intimacy with yourself is like, well, some of these answers are going to come through the creative process.
yeah, it was really that about being intimate with myself, because at that time I was struggling with who I am, because I
Mm.
didn't know who
Yeah,
I
I'm
am.
sure.
I just follow um, the the rules of the of our society, to go to the business school, to have a job. I had this lover with who I was always saying, I don't see myself with children, with a dog, within in a house. And after being in the retirement, is that really that life?
Mm.
No.
Mm.
It, I had this awareness of more. There
Yeah,
should be another reality, but
yeah.
I
So,
did
can
that.
I ask, how old were you at this point?
I am 46 years old.
Now, when this happened?
Oh, it was into 2012, so for 14 years ago.
Okay, so yeah,
I,
early 30s.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's a common time for lots of people to start questioning life, especially, as women as well. When you're around 30, it's kind of like, do I want to have children? If you haven't got children already, do I want to have children? Do I not want to have children? That's a kind of, we can have children when we're much older in different ways, but it's almost like that's a point where it's almost like that discussion comes to the fore. I know with all my friends, I worked with a lot of nurses, and we all turned 30 within a couple of years, and we were all having these discussions with each other. And I know when I was just over 30, I was like, do I want to be a nurse for another 30 years? Like, I'm looking forward to retirement and just going, oh my God, it's like much the same for another 30 years. And so if anybody's listening to this and they're around the age of 30 and having those questions, then this is pretty normal, to be honest.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
what was 14 years ago, and things moved a lot, but 14 years ago, we do not have a lot of Google's intelligence artificial and all those kind of information, coaches, and all those amazing contents. And we haven't the choice to say, okay, do you want, do you desire to have a children or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
And it was, you are a woman, you are going to have a children.
Yeah.
And it was such a relief. Maybe 2 or 3, it was around my 40, after having a big issue with my grandmother, who was asking every time,
Mm.
okay, when are you going to have children? When are you going to to be married and all that stuff?
Yeah.
I just sit with myself and I say, I just write. Okay, let's write. Let's write, and just let's dig down this suffering, this emotion, why I am so touched about that. And I finally start to write down that, oh, but that doesn't miss me to do not have children.
Mm.
And I start to laugh. I say, oh my God, yes, I don't want that.
Yeah. 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 So allowing yourself to make a choice away from all the noise and the expectations of other people or society or whatever.
Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
give you the fucking permission to be who you want to be, and to
Yeah.
follow your own desire,
Yeah.
what feels good for you, the pleasure. And so it has been my own journey about, I will say, deep suffering and
Yeah.
deep pleasure.
Yeah.
uh, and I start to say, okay, so corporate job is not more for me, and I just want to lead the women's circle.
Mm.
So I start like that, with having leading women's circles, and dancing, singing, holding singing circles,
Yeah.
on the same thing, because after the painting, I had a full multidimensional artist awakening. The 2012, it was the painting. After, I had another mystical experience with the sound, with the voice, where my channel just opened, and I start to channel light language and sounds frequency. So
Yeah.
I start my business with sharing sounds and light language,
Mm.
and then after the year after, it was the writing pulse. I say, oh my God, again. And it
Yeah.
was just amazing to be able to express myself fully, with words, with movements, because I'm dancing, obviously, also,
Yeah.
with the painting, with everything, and embody that multidimensional expression,
Mm.
and use it, depending on what is be living inside me,
Mm.
and express to the world, and also use it as a powerful manifestation tool, just to honor and get the clarity about what I desire, and
Mm.
how I can create this bridge with the outer world, and to that bring that into my reality. So I was just using those amazing expressive art to, yes, move the energy, because when you start to move the energy, it's on that time that you are starting to create a new reality. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
making the movement from the energy.
Yeah. And that's again interesting, because even if we move away from traditional jobs and create something of our own, people still want to put you in a box. Like, I went to a networking thing on Monday and the guy's like, "So are you a coach then?" Like, and I'm trying to explain what I do and all the things I love to be involved with and how I help people, and he was so determined to go, "I need a label, like, I don't understand." And I knew he kind of wouldn't understand what I was saying, because we don't live in the same world, but part of my practice is to talk to people who live in ordinary business world, maybe, try, to explain who I am and what I believe and how I function in the world. And it was really interesting that he was just like, his brain really needed a box to put me in. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
I do coaching as part of I have coaching skills. I'm trained as a coach, but I wouldn't call myself a coach per se. And so this was kind of mystifying to him, which is great, because it's really good to see how locked in some people still are. But yeah.
And sometimes this is also difficult for others to say, okay, but you're an artist, but you're also author, and you are doing coaching, but you don't know what you want because you cannot do everything. But yes, I am multi-passionate, multi-talented,
Yeah.
and I just want to do that, and that's I am not doing that on the same time. I am just following the energy
Yeah.
and tuning what is the most alive for me. And on that time, I can just ask to my body right now, what could be the most orgasmic thing for you? And
Yeah.
just shut up, just listen, and and uh, and then maybe you will receive an image or a color, or you think of a friend, and you will connect directly. Oh, I need to sing right now, or I need to go to the spa, or I need to do a wonderful meal for myself. And it's all about that. And it's all about, even on the business side, right now, I just feel the pulse to do what one-to-one. Okay, let's do what one-to-one. And what about creating an ecosystem to help people, artists, leaders, entrepreneurs, to really fully express all of who they are, because
Mm.
it's all about that. And for me, it was a journey to stop labeling myself, labeling what I am doing, putting myself in a box.
Yeah.
But how can I? How can you put infinite in the box? That's not
That's a
possible.
great question. How can you put infinity in a box? And I think there's another thing you were talking about, what's the most alive thing for me? And, aliveness and feeling alive and feeling lit up is kind of what we all really want, however that comes through. And I mean, I'm kind of reflecting as we're talking and saying that, in 2026, I think that there's so much information and inspiration available that we know we don't have to fit in a box anymore. Like, but maybe 20 years ago or 15 years ago, when this was kind of new to you and I, it was sort of, even still, a bit more, we have to label ourselves, or we've got to explain our business and have a tagline, or any of this kind of stuff that people still do. But I think there's a lot more recognition that a lot of people are multi-talented, and actually to let ourselves fully express means dancing and singing and coaching and writing and meditating and creating courses, and whatever it is that is the way that it comes through you is. And that's what makes us feel alive, is when we're doing things that are perhaps guided from inside, rather than something that's unless it's guided from higher frequencies. But yeah, letting ourselves choose and follow those little breadcrumbs along the way. So yeah, so we've been talking for quite a while now, so let's just talk about like what you're really excited about now, what you're passionate about now, like where the focus is in your own self-inquiry or intimacy with yourself, and what you're kind of offering the world right now, like how that's changed, and what's alive for you right now, Evelyne.
Yeah, for me, it's all about guiding guiding the leaders, the visionary, the artists who are not fitting in the box,
Yeah.
who who are who because who you are becoming, it's not is too small. So you are becoming too big to be fit in a box,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just are the pioneer of something that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
And for this kind of people, you cannot ask an external validation
Yeah.
because because that doesn't exist. It's something totally new. You are
Yeah.
just embody new frequency, new codes, new expression, and new lifestyle, a way of being into the world that is really unique to you. And
Mm.
to do that, you need to validate yourself. You need to allow that to give you the fucking permission to be all of you.
Yeah.
And it's really all of that for me right now. So I am guiding people who just want to create a new orgasmic reality,
Yeah.
and I'm guiding through really the identity shift, because for me it's all coming from that. When you start to shift your identity and connect with new desire, something that's a new level of pleasure, new
Mm.
level of creation, you start to have new thoughts, new inspiration, and then from the identity, your external reality can start to shift. So it's
Mm.
through the the full expression of who we are that we will be able to create our new orgasmic reality. And it's all about that. I'm guiding about the creation of what's next,
Mm.
your next orgasmic cycle, and it's all about expressing ourselves, all of who we are in our art, business, and sexuality.
Yeah.
So, and it starts by going deep within to be able to, yes, to all new standards,
Mm.
to stop limiting ourselves and to start having new choice that really light us up and creates things that are just amazing for us, and because we will be new being embodying new ways, new transmission, um, new things. Finally, we will be a real leader, because it's all about that. Let's start by being the leader of our life,
Yeah.
and then we'll be able to lead movements and people to a new destination.
Yeah, yeah. And I've got a couple of things coming to mind, and one of them, like I'm reading all about this at the moment. This is my luminary work that I'm doing as well, and um, something I read. I I read lots of things and I understand them, and then sometimes they kind of land with me differently in my body. And it's like the fullest expression of who we are is the greatest gift we can give the world. And it's like, okay, instead of going, oh gosh, what will people think if I'm the fullest expression of myself? But we know, like when we watch, I don't know, a singer or an actor or a sports person or a amazing speaker, and they're fully embodied and fully radiating and like lit up from the inside, like it lights up everyone else. So that's the first thing, is it's not selfish to do that. It's actually the greatest gift we're giving humanity right now, is to be fully expressed. And the other thing that I saw, this quote has been around for years, but I saw it again yesterday on Instagram, is, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, because what the world needs is people who have come alive, something like that. And it's so, yeah, we've been talking all about full expression and aliveness and being all of who you are, which is, the path that a lot of us are on right now. And it'll evolve as time goes along, but it's a great place to begin, really, with the self-inquiry. So thank you, Evelyne. That's been beautiful. So if people want to find you online, get in touch, like where's the best place to find you? I think you've got a great Substack, haven't you?
Yeah, I have Substack. So I will share you the link below somewhere.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, the link will be in the notes for the podcast and also on YouTube, so we can put all your links on there.
And I have my website, www.evelynetoromanian.com. So
Beautiful.
that's easy. Or and you can also reach me on Facebook. Send
Yeah.
me a message or a love letter. I don't know whatever.
A love letter, that'd be
What do you
gorgeous.
want?
Yeah, thank you. And is there anything else you want to tell the audience before we finish today?
I had this message today when I was just having my hair done, and I was connecting with that, with being the love of your life. And
Oh,
I think
yeah,
it's a message very important right now. It's how I can be the love of my life.
yeah,
Very integrate that in myself and not look outside because the true love of your life, it's just in front of the mirror. Just so go take the mirror and say, I am the love of my life.
that's amazing. Be the love of your life. Honestly, that's so brilliant. Well, thanks, Evelyne, for joining us this afternoon. It's been a delight to talk to you, and thank you everybody for watching and listening. And I'll share another interview very soon. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.